Polo G is an artist that people once thought was going to be the next rap superstar. And I mean, every sign was pointing right to it. Just a few years ago, this man had a #1 song, selling almost 140,000 copies first week. So people at the time was thinking he was one of the ones. He's the next rap superstar. Until everything went left. I mean, this man's whole career was derailed. Derailed so bad that he was locked up, his brother was locked up, his next project sold 24,000 copies first week. It was looking real bad for him. Think about it. Within one album, he went from 140K first week to 24K first week. That's almost the same thing that Ice Spice sold first week. Now, Polo G isn't a random. He's been around for years at this time. Now, that doesn't mean he was always this huge artist, but he had been hot since around 2019. Him and TJ blew up. They had some hit songs out. Their song Pop Out peaked at #11. And after this first bit of success, he ain't slow down. It wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna take a break now. He kept following it up. He was dropping his music, feeding the fans, but there was a problem he was facing in the background, a life-threatening problem. Barely a year into him having his career, making his money, the man would get sent to the hospital because he would almost OD. He was on drugs so bad at the time that it almost killed him. And really, throughout the whole length of his career, he would be facing problems like these. But a few months after the original ODing situation, he would do an interview speaking on how bad his addiction was. He said, I had a real bad X addiction for like 3 years. I used to think I had to be high to feel alive. It took a moment where I almost lost my life for me to finally let it go and pay attention to my health. Ever since the hospital incident, I quit doing X. I've been sober for 2 months. I say this to all the people battling drug addictions. It's more to life than just that. There's more things you can put your energy into. So for years, he had been facing drug problems, but he didn't have money. Now he's rich. Now he getting money. Now he can buy whatever drug he wants. Now he got all this pay. And we would see the effects of this. As his career would go on, he would be openly on and off with these drugs. And there was a time where he would do an interview speaking on how he was still facing these problems.
In the past, I spoke on it on Instagram, just trying to free my mind to like drugs, period, and be sober, just knowing everything that go in the world behind addiction. And I actually was keeping up with staying off ecstasy for like a year plus, and then I end up relapsing off it around my birthday. So I was really feeling down on myself about that. Like I let my own self down by going back to my old habit. When you on the path of trying to strive for better or just being better, there's a lot of people who can be around you that's gonna either help you or be in the way of that. So that's why I came up with the line, like bring out the best of me or be a distraction.
So 2019 was the start of his success. 2020, he would start to turn everything up. He would start to drop a lot of music, but everybody was in the house at this time. So there wasn't a lot of room for him to get into no trouble or anything. He would just be locked in. But this little peaceful streak wouldn't last forever. 2021, we would have Polo G start the most life-changing year in his life and most life-ruining moment in his life. Instead of just being solely locked in on the music during 2021, he would also be in some legal problems. I mean, this would be the year when the superstar conversation would first start to spark up, because during this time, he would have a very viral snippet circulating on the internet. He would have this rap star snippet flying around the internet for a long time. People was wanting it, fans was wanting it. People who weren't even fans of Polo G was wanting this specific song that bad. And I'm pretty sure this is where a lot of the hype for his next album would come from, Hall of Fame. Now, Hall of Fame was a very pivotal moment for Polo G. This would be the biggest moment in his career. I mean, this album came out with a hit song on it. Rap Star sold 140,000 copies first week, but this album would also be the start of problems. The night this album comes out, he does a release party, right? And he's probably thinking it was gonna go smooth. Whole time it didn't go that way. Polo G would end up getting arrested the same night his album comes out, and the situation went viral. A6L wrote this: Polo G was recently arrested following the Miami album release party for his new project. The arrest took place early Saturday morning as the rapper and his team were headed to an after party following the album release event. Polo G ended up getting booked, and they charged him with resisting arrest, battery on an officer, criminal mischief, resisting arrest, threatening a public servant, and he was getting held on a $19,000 bond. And so Polo G gets arrested. It's not looking good. Then we would have his mom coming out. She was basically defending Polo G. She was like, this is what happened that night, and I'm not cool with it.
We're in Miami and we just left Polo's release party. My kids called me in a frenzy saying that the police are all behind them, 20 cars deep, and this is not an exaggeration. What is ridiculous is the fact that a young black man can celebrate his success and still be looked at as a Then when I go and I ask them, where is my son who's years old, they refuse to let me speak to my son. Do you see this? Do you see this? See this? When I say beyond ridiculous, beyond ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. All of this is because my son, Polo G, literally came from his album release party and going to his after party at Allure, and they stopped them because they were driving while black. Let's keep in mind that they were driving in a licensed vehicle with security and a driver, okay? He wasn't even the person driving. Do you know how scary that is? And then when I go and approach them to ask them about my children, and namely my minor son who's 16, they tell us if we don't leave that they're gonna lock us up. I need y'all, I do not know if my children are safe, and I need you to flood Miami Police Department and tell them to let my sons go. Polo G, they have T-Baby, and I am not having it. My children will not be a casualty. I have raised my children right. They are respectful people, and we are celebrating the success, and this is how it ends, not on my watch. Not on my watch, and not today. I have a right to ask where my children are. I have a right to know where my child is. This is ridiculous. This is a waste of taxpayers' money. Ridiculous. And the only crime that they committed is being black and successful. Ridiculous. We're a car full of women, and you know what they told us at the end of the day? Them white men told us, mother, for you going to jail too. What I'm going to jail for? Look at this one. Look at him.
So that was her side of the story. Then we had the cops saying that originally he got pulled over because the tents was too dark. Cops said they was trying to talk to the driver. Driver ain't want to roll the window down. Eventually, situation escalated. It escalates, everybody's getting out the car. And everybody did get out the car except one person, Polo G. He had to be forced out of the cop. And the police said that Polo G was allegedly wild. And they saying he told the cops he would have killed him. He was talking crazy. This is allegedly what he said, quote unquote. I will kill you. I swear I'll use these fists to beat the out of you and knock your ass out. Then the situation will escalate from that to him getting put up for the night. But this arrest will end up getting caught on camera.
This is the rapper or whatever his name is, and then I think this was like his sister or something like that.
He actively resisted us on the scene. He's some, I don't know, I never heard of these. Yo, these new rappers, who knows? He came with like 100 people. We arrested 11 of them. She's one of the 11. And I guess they're ready to go down. Their lives ready. I don't know where it's whatever. Hey, but he thinks he's something, so, you know, be ready for it.
Yo! 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 Yo!
Stop.
You broke as hell. I definitely.
Oh, here we go about the broke and about the money. Oh my God.
Broski, you broke. I'm just saying, you got $10,000 in your bank account right now. You got $10,000 in your bank account. I'm just saying, bro, because if you die right now, what could you give your kid? If you die right now, what could you give the lady that you in bed with? What could you give to your mama? Have you ever bought your mama anything?
Yeah, Mother's Day.
Did you buy your mama a car? Did you buy your mama a house? I did that. I did both of those.
So good for you, bro.
I'm
glad you did that.
Ever in life.
I would love to do that one day.
You would love to do it, but you never will.
And what is that supposed to make me feel like? A less of a man than you are?
Yes, that's supposed to make you feel like less of a man.
So what I gotta do? I gotta be a rapper? But I do provide. I do. I just don't know how to sing like you.
You don't know how to sing.
I don't?
You can know how to be a man. You can know how to box. You can know how to play baseball.
Do you box?
Be a police
You box?
You want to be a police officer?
So I'm supposed to be a professional boxer, like a champion boxer, to make like millions of dollars? Sorry, man, I don't have the skill for that.
You could have been a doctor.
How come you didn't become a doctor?
You chose to be a police officer.
How come you didn't become a doctor?
For your family. I just asked you, do you got?
I make an honest living.
You invested in, bro. Do you even got any money in stocks, Bitcoin, anything? What could you get to your kids?
You don't been shooting at each other. This is Chicago. Chicago. I might have to start adding Chicago with Florida. He said before it go too far. It was too far. They was fighting and shooting, Polo. That's normal to Chicago people.
it's just being broadcasted more, and like everybody gonna talk about it. But everybody family go through shit like that. I'm accustomed to. I'm like,
minus
like,
the shoot.
No, that's normal to him.
And how do you intervene? Because you can't pick a side. It's like you almost gotta just try to put them both in the room and be like, let's have this conversation.
Yeah, that's definitely the angle to take. Cause my sister a pretty headstrong person. She her mother child, you know.
So even though his life has been full of all of these problems, that album, his first album in years, would finally come out to horrible sales. He basically lost all of his momentum with all the legal problems he was facing. With him being in and out of jail every other month, he basically killed all of his momentum. He drops Hood Poet, this long-awaited album. It sells 24,000 copies first week, a 116,000 decrease in sales. Basically the nail in his coffin for his career. If he doesn't come out and drop a masterpiece as his next album, or have a hit song, or have a viral snippet, I think it might only get worse for him. But this still not the end of the story, because he comes out, drops his album, it flops, and a few months later, guess what will happen? The man gets arrested again on a second gun charge in 1 year. Once again, he was out, traffic stop happened. Police check his car, guess what they find? A weapon on him, another felony. And you know, right now, just because he isn't in jail for some of these charges, that don't mean it's not gonna come back in the future and haunt him. Because when it's time to sit in front of that judge and they trying to figure these cases out, I don't think the judge gonna go light on him because the amount of charges he done earned in the past 2-3 years. But luckily, right at the end of the year, he would end up beating that original case from April. Who knows what's next for Polo G, but it don't seem like it's gonna be good for him when you looking at everything that he's done. I guess only time will tell.